So thank you for sticking around for this second bit of this interview, where we take you through the 5 most common mistakes during an interview and how to avoid them. And so the first one, I'm still here with Dorcas, and the first one is arriving a bit late or too early. So could you please explain that, and what exactly does too early mean really?
Yeah. You found some candidates. Whenever you are told you're invited for an interview and you're told your session will start at maybe 9 a.m. in the morning, and some candidates will now come at say 8 in the morning, so you're there like an hour before. So remember, when the HR or recruitment managers are scheduling interviews, in most companies they give a duration, a different
time slots.
Yes, different time slots. So they may give you an interval of 30 minutes. So if your interview was at 8, probably they were interviewing someone else at 8 and you are called at 9, but you come at 8. So, or say you are the first candidate, and they have scheduled the interviews to start at 9. Now, when you go there at 8, it gives them pressure. They're under pressure that you are there.
There's a long
That
queue.
they are not starting. They haven't started yet,
Yes.
and you're there. You may only be the only one, but you arrived too early. You're giving them pressure. Even you yourself, you get pressure, because now you the long hours, you get tired, you get anxious.
Yes.
You're like, why is it not starting? So ideally, you should arrive at an interview 15 minutes before the time that your interview should start.
Yes.
The internet makes you comfortable. You can talk to the receptionist. You can be around, familiarize yourself with the environment. But a whole hour or more than 15 minutes early, it is not advisable. Yes.
So what happens in a situation where, because they say it's better late to be early than very late. So what happens like in a situation where I am extremely early, maybe 30, 45 minutes earlier, and I don't have a place to go, because with the Nairobi traffic, you might decide to wait. So what usually happens? What activities can you do to?
You can look around where you are and see, probably, can I go and have coffee somewhere? It would really help. But don't show up at an employer's place for an interview an hour before, or too early.
Yeah.
We've said the most ideal time is 15 minutes.
Before they even open.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're just there at the gate to
Or
the
you
guard.
open with them and they're there, they're asking, okay, you're here for an interview, then you have to wait for that long. So it's advisable 15 minutes. If you're earlier, you can look around. Is there a hotel? You can go grab a cup of tea or coffee.
If you have a car, hang around your car.
Yeah, if you have a car, you hang around your car. Yeah, it will really help. Yes. Then the other.
And then let me ask you. I know it's not really related, but I'm just curious, because remember in the previous interview you spoke about the importance of asking questions. So and there are employers who they never keep time. Like they tell you to come at that 9, but an hour later they are still yet to interview you. So will it be polite, like if you asked that, find out what happened during the interview, or utaka kiherehere sana?
No, if I get your question right, you're asking if it's okay to ask an employer when the interview starts, or
No, like they've slotted you for 9 a.m. on Thursday morning. You get there 15 minutes to 9 a.m. and by 9:45 or 10, they are yet to call you. So when you go, when they eventually enter into that panel, are you allowed to find out what transpired on the time aspect?
Okay,
because you kept time, the employer didn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually, sometimes some interviews take longer for various reasons. So sometimes it's not really the fault of the employers. So as an employer, you have a duty when you tell someone my interview is at 9, you have to start at 9. However, there are those times, it's not always, because I don't want to justify HR managers delaying people in an interview. But then there are situations when, for one reason or another, someone who was key to the interview is not there and you have to wait for them to be there. So that now might delay the interviews. So but don't ask. When you go in, don't ask. Remember we are saying if you purposed to wait for those 45 minutes, so don't go spoil your chances, especially if it's a good opportunity for you, you know. So go there. Of course, most of them will normally apologize for the delay. That is courtesy. Yes. So I would expect if the HR managers or whoever is conducting the interview should be able to apologize for such delays.
Great. And let's go to the second most common mistake to avoid during the interview.
Maybe before we go there, we said arriving too late. I mean, arriving too early, and also when you arrive late, you know, you need to give the employer or notify the HR person or whoever called you, that number that called you for the interview. Always save it. In case you there's traffic, there's something that just came up, just inform them.
Yes.
Because now imagine the flip side, the interview is starting at 9 and they're there waiting for you and you're not there. No? So it's also courteous to just tell them that I'm late, and don't tell them 9 and you're writing the message at 9. Tell them some 15 minutes before. I'm running late. I'll be there in 10 minutes past or quarter past. Then they will know. But don't just say that I'm late. Tell them when to expect you so that they know.
Great. And the second common mistake to avoid when you're going for an interview is not carrying your CV. And so why is that important? Because I'm thinking, but by the time they're calling you, they went through your CV. Why do you still need to carry it?
It does happen sometimes that for some reason some companies don't have this. They would, yes, you send them, but they haven't printed it. You know? So just to be safe, always carry a CV, one CV, and of course extra copies. Remember the previous tips we said during when they are inviting you for an interview, call, ask them how many people will I be meeting. So then you can, with that question, you can know I need to print 5 copies or I need to print
for
3
each
copies.
of the panelists.
Yes, for each of the panelists. Because sometimes even the HR might have printed, but maybe they have printed just 1 copy. So if you have several, you can just distribute, and it will look nice to you.
I can picture
you connect
that.
with them as
It's
you
so
share, you know,
Yes.
as you share the CV.
Please have a copy of my CV.
Yes.
Now you go sit. It even gives you room to relax.
Exactly.
Nice.
And interact with them now. It just releases the tension.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So always carry a copy, extra copies of your CV.
And the third common mistake, display a low energy or attitude. So how do you identify that?
Now, you know, low energy and attitude, those two, they come up as from how you talk. How you talk, the facial contact, the contact, facial contact that you have with the interviewers. They will also come from the cues that you're giving the interviewers as you respond to questions. So that high energy, you know, the way you sit. You know, for instance, if I
like this.
yes, if I don't know, I have explained before how to sit in an interview.
Oh, really? Could you please demonstrate?
Yes, how you sit in an interview is, for instance, if this is the table, you need to be comfortable. So don't sit at the edge of the seat. So for instance, you don't want to sit at this edge.
Like
you
you're
won't
about
be
to take
comfortable
off.
at all. Yes, and the table is here. So you don't want to sit at the edge. You want to sit. Your body should you should be able to just lay back.
Yes.
Support yourself with the back of the seat, and then that way you'll be able to be comfortable.
Yes.
And then put your hands on top of the table. It's a more comfortable sort of position when your hands are on top of the table, and then you can do the body language. You can explain with your hands very comfortably moving. You know? So that one helps you to sort of connect and just explain things in a way that the interviewers will also see that this person is enthusiastic. However, if you slouch, you are not comfortable, you keep fidgeting or moving the seat, it doesn't look good for you. Yes. So enthusiasm will come from how you sit, how you talk, the body language, the facial, the eye contact that you're putting. All that gives the enthusiasm. Yes. And of course the voice, the tone. The voice, you need to be loud enough for people to hear. And not speaking. If I'm interviewing a management position, there is the demeanor. Yes.
To show power.
Yes.
The
power, the confidence.
Yes.
So you need to show it. If it is a CEO position, there is that demeanor of a CEO.
Yes.
So I don't expect the demeanor of maybe a fresh graduate. They will make a lot of mistakes sometimes. Some of them make a lot of mistakes. But for a certain level, there is a certain demeanor which is expected of you. And it needs to come out in the interview. From how you talk, how well you have your numbers, how well you can remember things, express things, command. Yes.
Wow.
All those are part of the impression.
Yeah, I'm already in that mood already. And so the fourth common mistake to avoid during an interview is seeming unprepared. And so what things do people do that tells you, this person is not prepared?
Yes, there are many. That is one common mistake I have found as I interview. And this mistake, it's not only for at all levels, whether it's entry level, junior, senior, some people come to interviews and they're not prepared. And remember, during our first session, we talked about asking about the position and the job description.
Oh, yes.
The job description is so important. It's like a Bible when you're preparing for an interview.
Yes.
You need to know what are the expected responsibilities in this role. And then how do I package myself to show the employer that this is what I can deliver. And based on my experience, I can deliver on this role. So being unprepared, if you don't know, if you don't know what are the responsibilities you're coming to do, then you can't tell stories. That's one thing. You can't tell stories. You'll be unprepared. You're fidgeting. You're wondering, what do I say? You may be very good at interviewing, by the way. And you could be a very good storyteller. But if you did not prepare for that interview, you don't have the job description, you never researched about the company and what they do. So you're being asked, so what do you know about corporate Manpower in East Africa? And you are like, it's a recruitment agency and that's it. You don't know more. You don't know what services we offer. You don't know maybe even the directors. You don't know our latest news. Have we introduced a product in the market? How is the performance? Have we won an award? You look for light stories to tell about a company. You don't have to go and know our financial year statements. This is how you perform. Not unless you're in finance. You're interviewing for their chief finance officer or something. But generally, you should give the light stories. You're involved in CSR, this kind of CSR. Those are the things that shows that you really prepared for this role. Yes.
Wow, great. I hope, guys, you are really learning a lot because, these tips are fire, And so we're going to go to the last one, and that's the fifth common mistake during an interview and how to avoid. And that should be not asking questions and follow up. And if you remember, in the first part, just before we went for the break, Dorcas has spoken about asking questions and doing follow-up as some of the key tips that will make you stand out in an interview. So let's find out why not asking questions and follow-up is a common mistake during interviews.
I mentioned about the follow-up and asking questions. So if you don't ask a question, then employers tend to think that this person is not interested in you. So if you don't have, you should just have something to ask. It's important. It puts you on a good light. So if you don't ask a question at all, you are not. It shows you're disinterested. That's why you don't have a question. So asking a question is important, and also following up.
Yes.
Because remember we said thank you note. If you want to stand out, I mean that one. A lot of job seekers do not do that, but it's one thing that can differentiate you, make you memorable, and at the same time put you in a very good light. So if you don't do it, another person will do it, they will get the job. If you are equally good with them.
Yes.
No? And sometimes remember the hiring decision is not only made on the salary.
Yes.
It's made on is this candidate competent? Can they deliver? How is their attitude? How can we afford them?
Yes.
So you could be the candidate who has a good, who is affordable, a good attitude, but you never followed up.
Yes.
You know, another candidate is there, they have all the three and they followed up. Well, they'll be taken.
Right away.
So hiring decisions are based on so many things.
Wow, thank you so much, Dorcas. Guys, I hope these tips have been beneficial to you, and we hope they will increase your employability and help you get jobs. And when you get that job, please remember to come back to the channel, leave a comment and say thank you. And for this and more tips on recruitment, how to prepare for job interviews, characters, CV development, as you've heard, Dorcas is the head of recruitment at corporate Manpower, and so I will definitely share the link to their website in the description box below, so click on it, go there and learn more. So thank you so much for watching. If you like these interviews, please remember to give it a thumbs up and also share your thoughts. If you've interacted, if you've benefited from Dorcas and her skills before, you can also share the good works as testimonials in the comment sections. And thank you for watching.